Nobody deserves to die, but some people deserve to go to hell. And that is only for Jesus to judge. And that's why I try my best. Now, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I have judgmental thoughts, but I try my best to not be judgmental at all. Now, again, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I do have judgmental thoughts. But the way I like to put it is observe and not judge, because there is a difference between observation and judgment. And leave the judgment to Jesus. He is the only one that can truly judge people. And so we shouldn't be trying to do his job. We should just leave it up to him and just observe without judgment. But yeah, nobody deserves to die, but some people deserve to go to hell. And that is up to Jesus to judge and nobody else. So why do I say that nobody deserves to die? Because people can still give their life to Jesus. Even if someone is trying to kill you and trying, like breaking in your house and actually trying to kill you so they can rob you and take everything you have. Even if they were trying to kill you, I still don't think that gives you a right to kill them. And I think that gives you a right to defend yourself, a right of self-defense. And so you can still defend yourself, but I don't think that gives you the right to kill them. So in my view, if I have, and I do support, right to bear arms, and I support guns. But when I get my own house and when I get my own gun and someone breaks in my house, I wouldn't try to shoot them straight in the brain and kill them. I wouldn't go straight for murder. I would try my best to go for their legs and go for their arms so that they can't hurt me anymore. Because if you take away somebody's arms and legs, especially someone that's trying to kill you and hurt you, then they can't hurt you. If they don't have no arms and they don't have any legs, then they can't hurt you, but they're still alive and they can still give their life to Jesus. And this is what he wants us to do. He does not want us killing. It is his law. Do not kill, do not murder. Okay? And so in that situation where someone is trying to kill you, that gives you the right to defend yourself and the right of self-defense, but that does not give you the right to kill them. And that's just my view on things. Okay? And I'm just going by his law and his word. Do not kill. Because you spare his life, even, the right to self-defense, even if you take away his arms and you take away his legs, he can still give his life to Jesus and turn his life around and do so much good for the world and for people. And so you gotta give people a fair chance. And don't just go straight for murder and straight for killing. Because the devil kills. God does not kill. And if God kills, then God would have killed the devil already. Because don't you think if God kills, he would have killed the devil already? And so God does not kill. It's his law. Do not kill. Do not murder. Even if someone is trying to kill you, still do not kill them. Yes, defend yourself. You have the right to defend yourself. You have the right of self-defense. But like I said, go for their arms and go for their legs. Leave them alive so that they can still give their life to Jesus. Because they can turn their life around and do so much good for humanity. So that's how I view killing. Do not kill. And someone else that I look up to, I look up to Jesus, number one. Someone else who I look up to, and he's been my favorite superhero since I was a kid, is Spider-Man. And I've talked about him before in my past videos, but Spider-Man, I think out of all the superheroes, shows the best character. It has the greatest character out of all of the superheroes. Because, yes, he's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and love thy neighbor, but also because he has a do not kill rule. He does not kill his villains that are trying to kill him. He doesn't even kill his villains if they kill his Uncle Ben. He doesn't even kill his villains if they kill his Aunt May, like the Green Goblin. He didn't kill Green Goblin. He wanted to, and it looked like he was about to, but his other version of himself stopped him. And I'm talking about in Spider-Man No Way Home. Green Goblin killed his Aunt May, and he was furious, full of fury. And he wanted revenge, and he was in spite, and he was like, he did not want to. That was someone that he loved, and Green Goblin, his villain, took away someone that he loved. So he was very upset and very mad about that. And he might have thought about killing him. He might have really wanted to, but his other version of himself stopped him, because that's not who he is. That's not his character. Because even Green Goblin can redeem himself and turn to the good side and be good. And so I know Green Goblin is split personality, but they can still redeem themselves and have a redemption arc. And I even think of Mr. Negative in the Spider-Man video game, where he was, running a homeless shelter, doing good deeds, and he seemed like this moral, good person, and he probably was. But he was trying to get revenge on Norman Osborn, which is actually Green Goblin. But he was trying to get revenge on Norman Osborn because his parents was killed in an unethical science experiment that Norman Osborn had funded. And he was the one that Mr. Negative put the blame on, and he technically was the one to blame. And so he blamed Mr. Negative blamed Norman Osborn for the death of his parents, and he wanted revenge. And even though he ran a homeless shelter and he did good deeds, he still turned evil. He still wanted to kill Norman Osborn and get revenge. And he was, and Spider-Man was trying to get in his way and stop him. And so he was even attacking Spider-Man because he was in his way, because he wanted to go after Norman Osborn. And anybody who got in his way, he would have stopped. And so Spider-Man did put him in prison and did catch him. But he wanted revenge, and he turned to the dark side, the evil side, because he wanted to avenge the death of his parents. And so his way of doing that was to kill Norman Osborn, the person he blamed for the death of his parents. Like I said, he technically is the one to blame. But there's better ways of getting justice than killing. And so he got put in prison. But after I think he broke out of prison, or a whole bunch of people broke out of prison, and he was part of the people that broke out of prison. But he actually turned to the good side and was helping Spider-Man fight his battles. And so he did redeem himself, and he turned his life around and turned to the good side, even after his revenge arc of trying to kill Norman Osborn, because he blamed him for the death of his parents, which he technically is to blame. But even after doing that and trying to do something evil, he still turned to the good side and redeemed himself and turned his life around. So yeah, even Mr. Negative turned his life around. And Spider-Man does not kill, do not kill. He won't kill his villains even if they're trying to kill him, and he won't kill his villains even if they kill his Aunt May, or even if they kill his Uncle Ben. He won't kill him. It's his rule. Do not kill. It's part of his rules. Do not kill. And so Spider-Man is also someone I look up to. Even Spider-Man's best friend tried to backstab him and try to kill him, and he still did not try to kill his best friend. And his best friend even sacrificed himself for him. But Spider-Man does not kill. And so, yeah, that is God's law. Do not kill. Do not murder. And even if someone is trying to kill you, it does not give you the right to kill them. But it does give you the right to defend yourself in self-defense. And so, like I said, if you take away somebody's arms and legs, then they can't hurt you. But they're still alive, and they can still turn their life around and still give their life to Jesus. And so, nobody deserves to die, because they can always give their life to Jesus. But some people deserve to go to hell, and that is for for Jesus to judge and nobody else. And I gotta try my best to not be judgmental and to clear judgment from my mind and to observe over judging. And so that's my advice to you guys.